keep it along the floor, he's kicking the ball with his non-kicking foot just in the ridge above his toe, but he's got to kick it like in line with the centre of the ball because he wants to keep it on the floor, whereas what he was doing mostly was trying to get it up and over because the defender is trying to get it out, so he needs to get it underneath, like just underneath the midline of the ball, so it's going to go up and then like follow through his leg. But he didn't really have the diagonal like approach, so his balls were not being accurate. They were just like going in straight lines when he wants to get it up, but he's just kicking it straight out, so it's going out of play. So yeah, so I'm going to do the action plan for his long passing. Okay. So I'd tell him the coaching points for the long pass, so he's non-kicking foot next to the ball and a diagonal approach to the ball, get his arms up for balance. If he's trying to drive it along the floor, kick with the ridge of his toe just underneath at the centre of the ball, and if he's trying to get it up underneath the ball, and then follow through with his non-kicking leg. The more power he wants behind the ball, the more follow through he needs to get that power. The action plan would be a 6-week action plan with 2 30-minute sessions a week, and then as the action plan goes on up to like the 3rd week, you can increase that to maybe 35-minute sessions. I'd do a test at the start to see where he was at with his long passing. So I would set out certain cones, like you'd put him at the edge of the area and then you'd set out certain cones all over the pitch, and you'd get into like long pass to players stood on them cones and see how accurate he was with that passing. So if he went to the player, that'd be a point. So we'd do that like say 20 times and you'd see how many he got to the players. So then you've got something to work towards. So by the end of that action plan, you want him to get be able to do that again, but be a lot more accurate, so get the ball to the players a lot more often. So say you got 5 at the start, you'd want him to get maybe 12 at the end of the action plan, so that there's clear improvement. I'm also going to put into the action plan, because one of his weaknesses was endurance, so try and build that into the action plan, so try and improve his fitness. So you'd start off with the easier drills to try and build it up for him. So I'd start off with just like 2 players 25 yards apart, stood on cones, and literally they're just long passing the ball along the floor, so just really easily straight at the start. And then so they'd do 10 passes each along the floor. Then you'd make it so they're doing like lofted long passes, so you'd kick the ball under the midline, and they do that for 10 times. Then you can increase the gap, so instead of 25 yards, you move it to 35 yards, so it's harder to get. As it gets bigger, the accuracy is harder. So then once they've mastered that, then you'd move on to getting them to pass it with the weaker foot. So say the right footed, they'd use the left foot and do the drive passes and the lofted passes. So like 10 times each time. Then another drill would be, there'd be cones dotted all over the pitch, say. So like some would be 15 yards apart, some would be 25 yards apart, just in a big array all over the pitch, and there'd be all players stood on each cone. There'd be 2 balls and 10 players, and you'd have to long pass the ball, but instead of just long passing and staying still, you follow your pass. So you've got to pass and then follow that to where you've passed the ball to, and then that person passes the ball and then they follow their pass. But there's also 2 balls, so it's not, you've got to think about it, so it's coming from all directions. So then they'd pass a move, so then you'd start it off just on the ground, because it's less complicated if it's just coming to you on the ground. Then they're coming off the ground, so you've got to think about controlling it and then long passing it, so it's not just a simple one touch. Then you could progress it to doing it with first touch football, so you only take 1 touch and you've got a long pass, so that's a lot harder with the accuracy. Then I'd set up 2 cones far, like 25 yards apart, but they'd have a defender in the middle. It's basically like piggy in the middle, but with a football, and that'd improve the lofted passing, because you've got to get it over the player, or you've got to curve the ball to get it round the player. So there'd just be 2 players and you'd have to get it round the player. Then I could set up like a more game-like situation. So there'd be the 2 nets, and then it'd be a normal football pitch, 11-a-side rules and everything, but there's two sections along the side of each of the pitch, which the wingers are only allowed in.
Yeah.
So if you're in that, if the winger gets the ball, they've got to dribble in and they can only long pass that across. So it's kind of like crossing, but that's what you need into long passing. So it'd be a normal game with normal rules, but as soon as the ball enters that width of the pitch, they're only allowed to cross it in. So like players have got to get on the end of that.
Yeah.
Then you could also have a game of football where you'd use less players, so like 9 aside, and there'd be like a 20-yard gap in the middle of the pitch, which that's coned. Nobody is allowed in that area. So from defenders to like midfield and attack, you can only long pass over. Like nobody is allowed in that section at all, or you can like drive pass it through. Yeah, so that's my action plan. Yeah. The health benefits that, no it's not. I'd put in my, I'd try and improve fitness as well in my action plan. So I do kind of like fartlek training, because that's what is needed in football, because it's a lot of change of pace. So, but it'd be like continuous fartlek training. So you'd have cones around half a pitch of a full-size 11-a-side pitch, and you'd be in 3s around each corner of the pitch, so there'd be 12 people in each drill. So you'd have a ball at your feet, and you'd jog one length of the pitch, then you'd sprint another, then you'd jog, then you'd walk, then you'd sprint, and so on, and you can change it up. So it's improving fitness. So you'd do that for 15 minutes at a time, but like because there's walking, it's similar to a football situation. So that's going to help improve the endurance. So now I'll go on to the health benefits of football. The health benefits are that it's like a social situation, so you make relationships, so you're going to increase confidence and relieve stress because you've got friends and it's a happy experience. It reduces the chance of coronary heart disease, many cancers. Football increases muscle size and muscle strength, so, and most importantly like cardiac muscle hypertrophy, because this helps with aerobic exercise, because your heart's able to pump more blood around your body, and so like it's more efficient gas exchange, and so it helps with aerobic exercise. Football increases your bone density, so it reduces your risk of osteoporosis and arthritis and bone diseases. It reduces the risk of obesity and keeps you at the ideal body weight. Is that, yeah? So then I'll move on to provision. For mass participation, so just trying to get into football, there's school teams and college teams, university teams. There's many parks everywhere that have football nets in them, so you can just go for a kick about with your mates. There's the Tesco FA Soccer Skills programme, which is for 5 to 11-year-olds, girls and boys, which have expert trained coaches and staff where kids can go along and learn just the basic skills you need for football, and just like see the friends, maybe they'll go because the friends are there. Similar to that, there's the Bobby Charlton Soccer School, which is for girls and boys 7 to 18. So it's similar to FA Tesco Soccer Skills, because there's expert trained coaches from all over the world, and children can just go and like have a kick about, improve the skills. There's City in the Community, which they do some like summer camps, but they also do like on certain nights of the week you can go down and it's just coaches there. You can go down with your mates, just do some training, and then every 12 weeks they have like everybody that goes, you can make yourself into teams, and they have a little festival with all like teams can play against each other. There's also Power League, so there's one in Stockport in Manchester, where it's just like little 5-a-side or 7-a-side games on a smaller scale, smaller pitch, but they have referees and stuff where like you can just get, if you like with your work colleagues, school colleagues, friends, you can go down and just play football. You can also just hire out them pitches, you don't have to have it part of Power League, you can just play it with your friends, or if you just wanted to kick about. There's summer schools like that are held at schools at over the summertime, where kids can go down and play football over the summer with all the friends. And then for elite, if you want to participate, if you want to actually like go somewhere with your football, if it's not just a social thing, it starts off at school level. Like they try with, well, this is with girls, like you can get into a grassroots club, but before that you can start at school, and then schools have a programme set up with clubs where like club links, and if you seem like you've got a bit of potential, they try and get you into a grassroots club. So school, then there's that club link, so then try and get you into a grassroots club. So that's like Denton Town, or so just like a small club where you're playing competitive football every week and you're part of a team. Then there's the higher standard clubs as well, so like Premier League clubs, so which girls can get into, you can go down for trials or whatever. Then there's county clubs, so there's like Lancashire, Cheshire, and you have to go down and trial for them. And they don't play as many games this season, they only play I think about 8, so you play for your county but then you also play for a team, but like that's supposed to be the more elite of the county. Then there's Centre of Excellences, which are like United, because National used to be one, where if you're identified by your team as promising, or like you look like you could progress, you can be sent down for trials, or anybody can go for trials. The trials are held over like 4 days, over like 2 weeks, and girls go down, and each night, if like you don't get through, but at the Centre of Excellences they have like 3G pitches, transport, they have the funds to be able to like progress people on. Then there's from Centre of Excellences, each year they'll select like 3 of their most promising from that team, and they'll go with other people from that region, and they'll just like regional training camps from the Centre of Excellence, so you can progress, and if you're promising then you'll go to one of them. Then there's also a programme at Loughborough University, if you look promising. It's like you do, like you can further your studies, but you play football also, so like you'll get offered the chance to go there. Then there's, after that, then there's England, but that's like England youth, so it's under 15s, under 17s, under 19s, under 23s. Like that can come from Centre of Excellences. England come down and look at Centre of Excellences, and you can only get that if you're under 18 at a Centre of Excellence. If you're at a club, England will look at you.
Okay.
Or you can get invited down to training camps, England training camps, so under like at the under 17s, 19s, 23s, and then after that it's just senior England ladies football. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.